Hello and welcome to the Tennessee Informer. I'm your host, Dave Vance. Tonight I'm going to talk about the refusal of the Senate Judiciary Committee in our state government to protect us from a woke and weaponized FBI. But first, I've got an update to give you that I just found out about earlier today. This has to do with the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Apparently, the Muslim Student Association and the Young Democratic Socialist submitted a resolution to the Student Government Association, or student government body, to pass the following resolution. And essentially the resolution has to do with having two students, graduate students from Gaza, to come over here. Resolved that the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga and the University of Tennessee system assist and financially support two Gazan refugees on the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga campus. Further resolved that the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga Student Government Association fully supports the university's funding of two Gazan refugees to attend graduate school at UTC and is committed to researching and assisting in finding resources to make this initiative a reality. So they want to bring two people from Gaza, which in my opinion means we're going to bring two potential terrorists. They'll come over as refugees. Okay, so that's going to cost us something right there anyway. All right, that's going to cost us quite a bit. But they're wanting our state university system to help fund this. Now, I don't have the total bill on this. There will be more information coming out about this, but as I understand it, these two organizations did up the resolutions. The resolution was passed by the Student Government Association tonight. Next step is it goes to the dean. I don't have a timeline on that. If the dean approves it, which he probably will, then it goes to the UT system for funding. Guys, this is a waste of our money. We shouldn't be bringing people from Gaza over here. And so, we'll find out more. There'll be more to report about this, but you need to give a call to your representative and your state senator. Maybe give a call to the school, especially if your kids happen to attend UT Chattanooga. Either way, this is going to involve some state tax dollars. I don't know about you, but I have a problem with the Democrat Socialists and the Muslim Student Association doing something like, if they want to pay for it themselves, that's one thing, but we're going to be on the hook for that. And of course, since they're going to come as refugees, financially our country and our state are definitely going to be on the hook for it. Yes, we've brought some people over from Ukraine before. Shouldn't have done that either, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, going to get back to the main topic tonight. So in reference to the Senate Judiciary Committee even refusing to hear 2804 by Senator Hensley, which had to do with preventing the weaponization of the FBI against Tennessee citizens, I emailed my senator, Senator Stevens, to ask him about this issue. Now, first, let me read to you the actual bill, the actual legislation. It was an amendment that would have made the bill. The bill was a caption bill, and this is all it said. Adding the following section: in the event a law enforcement agency within this state nominates personnel to be deputized as a federal task force officer on a joint terrorism task force, the chief law enforcement officer, think county sheriff, from the nominee's respective law enforcement agency must approve each national security investigation in which the nominee participates. That's all it said, is that the sheriff or the senior law enforcement official for that entity, that county, that city, had to be involved at each step. So the response that I got from my senator when I asked why that bill was not even given a motion, there was not even a motion made. In a committee, you have to have a motion and a second just to hear a bill. And so here's the response I got from Senator Stevens. By the way, I told him I was going to let everybody know about his response. I think it's a ludicrous response. You make up your own mind. I've got a good friend who sits on my row at First Baptist Huntington. Now, this is Senator Stevens' response to me, who is a federal Secret Service agent. He is a God-fearing Christian conservative who puts his life on the line every day protecting all of us in West Tennessee from drug cartels, human traffickers, criminal gangs out of Memphis, etc. I interpreted that amendment as an affront to him and hundreds of other law enforcement officers across my district in West Tennessee. Every day when he leaves for work, his wife and children do not know if he will come home. He works alongside local sheriff deputies and police officers and state troopers every day to keep us all safe. Then he says, I back the blue. Not a single sheriff from my district contacted me in support of this bill. They did not ask for it as far as I know. Then he says, while I'm just as shocked by the politicization of the FBI at the highest levels, it is my understanding that the day-to-day officers, deputies, and agents work together with local law enforcement. Yes, they do. And my response to him in reference to this, and to his answer, legislation dealt with the FBI, didn't deal with Secret Service, but in any event, all the amendment which made the bill required was that the local sheriff, who is elected by the people and is the highest constitutional officer in each county, be involved at every stage and know what's going on. Why would any sheriff not want to know what's going on in his county? Why would any sheriff not want to protect his citizens from potential abuse by federal agents? You say no sheriff asked you to support it? How many told you to oppose it? How many did you even ask for their opinion? We know some might not like it because they didn't want to lose federal dollars and other goodies they get when they allow one of their officers to be put as part of the anti-terrorism task force, which is the only task force the earlier amendment bill impacted. But the FBI has proven on the issue of domestic threats that they have been politicized. Are you not at all concerned about the situation Paul Vaughn and his family are in? Paul Vaughn is the pro-life activist that was arrested for praying in an abortion center a couple of years ago and is now facing 11 years for violations of the FACE Act. That's the FBI showed up at his house early one morning, guns drawn, and you've seen how that goes down. What are you and others on the committee doing to protect Tennessee citizens from abusive federal agencies? Well, as a retired Army veteran with 2 tours in Iraq, I take an affront that you nor any of your peers had the decency to even make a motion to allow the sponsor to explain his bill. But we both know it didn't get a motion because leadership didn't want it, and every one of you complied. Thanks for the response. I will ensure that everyone gets it. Now, in my reference to leadership there, here's what I'm talking about. When leadership, meaning the governor, the lieutenant governor, in our case, our perverted lieutenant governor, or Speaker of the House, when they don't want something to get out of committee, because bills have to make it through the committee, okay? They live or die in committee. When they don't want it, that's when you will see something like no second on a motion or a no motion. If you get a no motion, I guarantee you that's a leadership deal. So those 7 individuals, for whatever reason, and like I say, I'm convinced that it had to do with leadership putting the squash on that bill. They didn't want it. And those guys, instead of having the decency to hear the bill, Senate Bill 2804 by Senator Hensley, they just did nothing. Couldn't even bring it up. And then we get this garbage answer from Senator Stevens. I backed the blue and I saw it as an affront to law enforcement. To have the sheriff involved at every stage is an affront. That makes no sense to me. You know, if our state government, if the elected officials in our state government are just going to sit back while our federal government is out of control, when federal law enforcement is out of control in our state and doing a lot of the things that they're doing, then we really don't need them. I mean, why are we paying for them? If they're just going to go along, if they're just going to be complicit, why do we need them? I mean, really, do they apparently have no idea about their oath of office. They either have no idea or they don't care. Or they're too cowardly to stand up. One of those has to be the situation. Now, people can have legitimate disagreements, but to not even hear the bill, that's ridiculous. A few reminders here. And this is from our Declaration of Rights. All power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness. For the advancement of those ends, they have at all times an unalienable and indefeasible right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. Section 2. The government being instituted for the common benefit, the doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind. So our 7 slavish senators, slavish senators, sat there and did nothing. The citizens have a right in a peaceable manner to assemble together for their common good, to instruct their representatives, and to apply to those invested with the powers of government for redress of grievances or other purposes by address of remonstrance. They need to hear from us on these type of issues. Article 11, Section 16 of our Declaration of Rights. The Declaration of Rights hereto prefixed is declared to be part of the Constitution of the state and shall never be violated on any pretense whatever. And to guard against transgression of the high powers we have delegated, we declare that everything in the Bill of Rights contained is accepted out of the general powers of the government and shall forever remain inviolate. Remember, if you're not instructing your state legislators on important issues, they are still being instructed by feckless state leaders, the Chamber of Commerce, numerous lobbyists, and other well-heeled scum that roam the halls of the Capitol. If the states don't do more than take the federal government to federal court, then they are complicit with the destruction of our country. The states created the federal government to do specific delegated tasks. In doing so, they did not give the federal government power to destroy them. Let's not forget about our 9th and 10th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution. The enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. The 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And we're going to back up here just a little bit because I've got the names of all of those 7 senators. I'll call them the 7 complicits. So you got Senator Todd Gardenhire, who, by the way, has a challenger, and that's good. Gardenhire is one of the worst senators we have up there. He's been one of the worst for years. Senator Stevens, who's my current senator, he has a challenger. Charlie Cooper from Benton County, he's the current GOP chair, and he has a challenger. And their phone numbers are up here, and please give these guys a call. Let them know what you think about their lack of action on 2804. Senator Don White, Senator Kerry Roberts, Senator Brent Taylor, who made a response of something about, well, we didn't vote on the bill. It didn't even get a motion. Yeah, that's right. That's part of the problem. It didn't get a motion, didn't get a second. So it didn't get heard, so you couldn't vote on it. Senator Lundberg, who's another one of the worst. Fortunately, he has a challenger. Diane Harshberger's son, Representative Diane Harshberger's son, is running against him. I can't recall his first name. And Senator John Rose, I believe, has a challenger. I do not know that person's name. But those are their numbers. Please give them a call. They need to hear from you on this. And so there's no way that they didn't know that the FBI has been weaponized against conservative citizens, yet they are not willing to push back. So let me close. This is going to be a little bit short tonight. Just wanted to give you a little update on that and really encourage you to make the calls. Hopefully that story stays in the news because we're going to have to put some pressure on our state to do something. All right, please share us with your friends so they can stay up to date on all the conservative political news and issues concerning our state. Remember, we will have a special program Monday related to problems at the Covenant School prior to the murders. And on Tuesday, our regular program will feature author and speaker Robert Spencer of Jihad Watch to talk about how the left is fomenting civil war. Hope you'll join us. That's it for now, and good night from Paris, Tennessee, that is.